Let's talk about migration. You're somebody who's on Intuit DMS and you want to move to SmartVault. What are some tips or tricks, some things that you want to think about? Migrating from DMS using the SmartVault migration service. That's a great tool for you to utilize as you're moving forward. Typically, if you're a 5 to 10 user group, you should be able to be migrated all of the documents and all of your data within a week. Some of you that may be a smaller lift, a smaller 1 to 3 user, with a smaller number of folders, this SmartVault migration service could probably get you moved over in a day. Utilize them, let them help you migrate over. It's very, very simple. Now, your existing things I want you to think about is that existing DMS folder structure. Do you already have a methodology established? And I'm going to show you just a sample of what my folder structure looks like in a little bit. But if you haven't thought through that methodology and established it, now's the time to do it. So when you're migrating, think about how you have historically set up the DMS. What are the frustrations that you're having? And really, it'll be you and your staff because your clients aren't even seeing your folders because they're on your local computer. So think about what is going to be the client experience as well as your firm experience. And if you are all frustrated with the way your folder structure was in Intuit DMS, imagine what it will be for the clients. So you definitely want to think through that and consider how that's working. You want to think about, is your Lacerte or ProSeries currently connected? What does that process look like? Again, SmartVault migration service will help you manage those integrations and make sure that the new SmartVault service is connected to Lacerte or ProSeries. Learning how to import clients, and I have a whole tutorial on that. I have a nice way of showing you how we import our clients. Again, this is specific to Lacerte and ProSeries, but how do we get your clients in there if you're not in Lacerte and ProSeries? Because folks, you do not have to be a Lacerte or ProSeries user to use SmartVault. Anyone can use SmartVault. Printing to folders, printing to PDF, getting things into those folder structures can all happen, again, regardless of what tax software you're using. Think about your company brand, because SmartVault allows you to customize your branding within SmartVault. So when people are logging into the portal, they're not logging into the SmartVault portal, they're logging into your company portal. And that's important sometimes, like for clients to be able to have that instant recognition, gives them that feeling of trust and those types of simple things. So consider that when you're migrating over. And certainly, how do you plan to invite your clients to their new customized portal? What is your plan? Will you invite everyone at once? Will you do it one at a time? Will you do a video, which I always encourage people to do on Loom, explaining what your new process is going to be and how you're going to do that? Another great way to have a touch with the clients, have a conversation with the clients, and try to do it on a mass global scale, but be ready for them to call or email with questions so that they can understand. But will tell you that I have found utilizing SmartVault to do these things is so much easier than any other tool that we have used with our clients. And it's very, very rare that we get challenged with a client who can't function with it and upload their documents and deal with it in that manner. And it has been a firm changer, in my opinion. So let me just go back a little bit to the folder structure and why that's important. Certainly consistency across your firm. For example, everyone in my firm knows if they're looking for client source documents, if they're looking for documents, let's say that the client has provided, they're uploading their documents to a folder called Tax Document Upload, and it's under the specific year in which we're working. So we know that's where the client's documents are going to land when they're uploading. If I have work papers like book to tax, or we have bookkeeping clients where we have bank statements and credit card statements and asset purchase documents and things like that, we want to be able to make sure everyone knows where those documents all go for consistency, okay? A systemized approach is critical when you're thinking about a folder structure. You want your clients to be able to find those tax returns and documents easily. We don't want to have phone calls and emails to find things. Here's a link to the tax return, or whatever the case may be. We really want the clients to be self-serving as much as possible. So that's why we find folder structure to be absolutely critical. Now I'm going to show you here an example. So now I want to show you, this is an example of my current existing folder structure. This happens to be a business client who we also do tax returns for. So you'll notice at the top, we have a bookkeeping folder, and I didn't expand that folder because it's sensitive. There's some naming in there that I found to be maybe a little sensitive to be able to show you. But under that bookkeeping folder, if you can just close your eyes and imagine, there is a banking and credit card folder. And underneath that, every statement, every bank account has its own folder. And under that folder has each year, tax year 2020, tax year 21, 22, 23. And we have that systematized so that in the event that there's an audit, in the event that there's something going on, payroll reports we have all of the different years for the payroll reports. And we have that very systematized so it's easy to grab them if there's a workers' comp audit or something like that. We have a client upload folder that's kind of a catch-all that if it's a random upload, not specific to a tax year, they just need to get it up to us, they'll upload it there. Then we have our own little section of permanent file. The client doesn't have access to that with our power of attorneys, asset acquisitions, any IRS and state correspondence where I'm writing letters in response to a notice, and any onboarding and registrations like their EIN letter or their state registration or their withholding number or whatever will be put in there from a permanent perspective. So we have that easy and quick access to those onboarding and registrations. The prior year's data, that's going to be where that original tax return that they provided for me to give them a quote back when we were going to prepare them, in this example, 2019. That's where any prior year data, stuff that we didn't touch, that we didn't do. Then underneath each and every tax year, we have client organizer. We have their client tax returns. So that's going to be their client copy. It's going to be their client organizer copy. It's going to be their engagement letter copy. It's going to have their tax return acceptance letter is going to be stored in there. Firm filing copies has all of the firm stuff, prepare review copies. It's going to have their signed 8879 when I'm done doing that, which we do through SmartVault. And then our firm source documents. So we're going to have anything that we have done, uploaded, grabbed, compiled that supports the tax return is in that firm source document folder. Tax plan reports. So let's say in 2024, we're going to go ahead and do a tax plan for a client. That's where we're going to stick those reports for the client in there. And then the tax upload folder, which is where the client will upload any and all tax-related documents like W-2s, 1098s, etc. That's where the client is going to upload them. And we love that. It makes it so much easier, again, and so much more structured. So just to summarize, if you are a current Intuit DMS user, seriously consider moving to SmartVault. I think I've given you enough reasons why it is so much more beneficial, so much more secure, and so much better for your firm. The ability to have access to the documents and files from anywhere will change the trajectory of your firm. You can work literally from anywhere, not sitting at this local desk and relying on a flash drive. You will love it, your staff will love it, and your clients will love it. Make the decision to take your first step into file freedom and sign up today.